others for putting this together. I think it's so very important to get people who are running citywide to come forward and talk to folks in Frankfurt, and obviously those of us who are running in the Frankfurt area. But I think it's important that folks know that there are a lot of great people in Frankfurt doing a lot of great things. So I congratulate you for putting the forum together. We have our literature around. It talks a little bit about some of the stuff that we've done in Frankfurt, whether it's the Overton Park Group, to Gambrell, to the Northeast Boys and Girls Club, to the CDC, to the Special Services District. We have tried to be, in the last 3.5 years, responsive, because I believe that Frankfurt's better days are coming. When I was in high school, I walked up from Mastbaum frequently to Frankfurt in the Carter, and we want to do whatever it takes, to make sure that this community is thriving and that it is moving forward. I've appreciated the partnership we've done, but I can tell you that even though I represent about 13 divisions in this area, Frankfurt has been extremely important to us, because I think, not only because it's in the middle of the district, but I think it represents this balance of very stable communities, very stable homes, with this other part of the community that needs immediate attention to make sure that it doesn't hit that tipping point. So whether it's the issues of dealing with the recovery houses that I inherited, to the issues of how do you bring folks together in a neighborhood to embrace the growth and the diversity that happens. I've been here, I'll continue to be here, and hopefully May 17th people will say we're on the right track. They feel comfortable that we've done the right things. More to be done, and we will try to continue to do that to move this community. That they do facade repairs and some additional work. There's about another 100,000 or so that we are going to do in another project with the Mural Arts Program. So we haven't spent it because we have yet to be able to get a united plan about how do you leverage it.
4 years?
Yeah, that's how long it's taken you to work with me.
Okay.
Now the question is, children and families are growing in Frankfurt, which, you know, we can put a whole lot of money into programs and things like that, but we have not reached out to these at-risk children and at-risk families. It would mean nothing, it would be trashed. So what's your opinion about how that may, you know, improve that?
Well, I mean, I think there's a couple of things. We've seen some really drastic cuts, and if you looked at yesterday's plan at the school district, we're going to feel some more drastic cuts. Some of the things that we have done, we've worked with all of our schools, Frankfurt Friends. Obviously, we've worked with Sankofa to bring it to Frankfurt. We've worked with Stern and Smetley, who's a Renaissance school, to try to transform the schools and give them the resources that they need to deal with some of the kids at the school level. Unfortunately, with the loss of Frankfurt Group Ministries, who did a lot of the after-school work, and we had to really work hard to salvage the housing component part when they were dismantling. So we've tried to maintain what we have with the cuts, and we need to add more. We've supported and we've worked with Steve Blackburn and his services over there, which is probably the most structured program that we have in dealing with at-risk kids, and we've tried to sustain the funding. But that's really what we've been doing. This has really been about trying to sustain what we have because of all the cuts. Can we do more? Absolutely. That's why we support the Northeast Boys and Girls Club. We funded them. We continue to fund them and raise money for them. I know the drill team wants to be activated again, and we're working with them to give them the equipment so that they can activate that. We've done everything we can to continue to support the Chargers and what they're doing. That's why we spent all that money in that park. That's why we'll be opening Wilmot Park, because we know we got to provide alternatives, but the resources have been limited. So we need to do more there. I think the loss of Frankfurt Group Ministries and some of the work that they were doing is starting to be felt, and we need to do a better job.
Can that, the programs and funding that they had, could that go over to another phase?
Well, I think part of what we would like to do, and obviously the CDC does their piece. We need to look at how we continue to support of Steve, and how do we continue to support the expansion of Sankofa so they can add some evening programming. I know Stern School is one of our better schools, even though it's small, and one of the concerns is as they realign these schools, what happens to a small school like Stern. But it's really that, trying to get, you know, and I could tell you, we were at council today, and I met with school district officials after what they announced yesterday, and I can't even begin to tell you what the impact is going to be. Nurses, ombudsman people, teachers. I haven't had an opportunity to recently touch base with Hardy to see how this impacts them, but I have some of my smaller schools who have seen like assistant vice principals. So we have put in more than that, and we will put in more than this, more than that $1 million. You know, it's easy to throw out $1 million and you can waste it, like the $75,000 to paint a couple of buildings. So you know that.
That was for sidewalk reconstruction and new lighting.
It would have done 1.5 blocks. So do I put 1.5 blocks of new sidewalks, or do I give $30,000 to a small business owner to improve his business?
It wasn't 1.5 blocks. Sorry, that up.
It was
It's
1.5. I just finished doing 3 different streetscapes. I can tell you what they cost. I'm doing Centro de Oro, I'm doing Kensington and Lehigh.
You should have been more frugal.
Again, we're not going to make this a debate about an issue. If you have a question, ask a question. She will answer your question, and that's how.
Outside of the issues that are prevalent every election, what issues are more prevalent this election, and where do you stand on them?
I think there's a lot of questions about real estate taxes. You've heard that a lot, and you know, I'm one of the districts whose people pay more than their fair share. We get assessed at a higher level than most of the district. So there's a lot of people start using code words like making it revenue neutral. And my only concern, and I won't commit to that, and in fact this was something that my challenger asked me the other day, would I vote for a real estate tax again? And I said yes, if the option was a $300 trash fee. So I can't commit that I will not vote for more real estate tax. And the reason I say more real estate tax is because I would vote against people getting a reduction if it means we have to sustain services and fund schools. So that's one of the issues where I'm in disagreement with the person running against me, because it's irresponsible to say we're not absolutely no on anything. Because it's just like the budgets that we've had now. You gotta wait. And so if I have to weigh giving an additional $50 million to the school district and someone getting a $25 cut in their property tax, I'm gonna give the $50 million to the school district. So that's what I believe in.